Hello. Good morning to all.
Good morning, sir.
Today is our first lecture that is about the Tom 2 subject. I am a class teacher, maybe class teacher of third year will be changed. It depends on the management. But up till now, I am the class teacher of third year. And today we will discuss about the our pattern of the exam of Tom 2 syllabus and what are the contents in various units. So first of all, we will go with the PPT. If we see the marking scheme, Tom 2, it is third year, second semester, first semester subject, theory of machine tool. As we learn the first semester subject Tom 1, it is the next part of Tom 1. If we see the marking scheme of this subject, it will contain 100 marks paper, that is 30 marks in same paper and 70 marks in same paper. This may be a change or may not be a change. It will be depend on university's decision, but as per the previous norms, this subject consists of 100 marks paper, 30 marks paper at the mid of the same. It will be a contain 3 units or 4 units. Generally, it contains 3 units for 30 marks, and for 70 marks, it contains 6 units. It has 25 marks external oral and 25 marks term work. The term work is similar to that of the Tom 1 subject that will be discussed later, and it contains 25 marks oral exam. This oral exam will be held at the end of the semester before the end sem exam. If we consist of the 100 marks, it divide into 30 and 70, and a passing scheme for this subject is 30 marks. If you get in same exam, that is out of 30 you get a 15 marks, and at the end same exam you required to get 28 marks. Means there is no separate passing for in same exam, but at the end same exam you required minimum 28 marks for a passing. Means if you can get 28 marks in end-sem exam and 12 marks in end-sem exam. It is total is 40 and you will be a pass. But at the in end-sem exam, if you get less than 28 marks, then you will be a fail. That's why you required to get 28 marks in end-sem and other marks and total 40 marks in overall subject. Is it clear? If you have any queries, then you can post in a comment box. This is a marking scheme for a Tom 2 subject. If we see the syllabus, this is the syllabus of Tom 2. First unit is a spur gear. As we know that what is a gear, in this unit we will learn what is gear, what is a classification of the gear, what is mean by spur gear, definition of the gear, various terminology used in a gear, fundamental law of tooth gearing. If we see the gears, various types of gear means tooth profile of the gear is different for a different application. So which types of profile is required, that is involute profile or cycloid profile, what is mean by path of contact, arc of contact, conjugate action, what is mean by contact ratio, interference and undercutting. These are the various concepts in a spur gear we will discuss in this first unit. Next part is of first unit is method to avoid the interference. How can we avoid the interference that occur in a meeting of the two gears? Minimum number of teeth on a gear. Means how many minimum teeth we can required for a gear and pinion. Force analysis and frictions in a gear. Means which types of forces are acting on tooth of the gear and at the center of the gear. Uh, Find out the frictional losses in a gear. This can be found in this unit. The second unit of our syllabus is helical, bevel, worm and wormhole. This is another type of the gears. What is mean by helical and spiral gear? Terminology, geometrical relationships. What is the geometrical relationship between force and frictional force? These tooth forces, torque required and efficiency, virtual number of teeth for helical gear, bevel gear and worm wheel. What is mean by worm and worm wheel? Terminology used in worm and worm wheel, geometrical relationship, tooth force required for torque transmission. What is a bevel gear? Theoretical treatment for a bevel gear. These are the content of the second unit. The third unit is a gear train. As we know that if we join a number of gears, more than 2 gears, then it's called as a gear train. Then in this unit we will discuss types of the gear train. Means various types of gear train are present, simple or analytical, this type. The analysis of elliptical gear train, torque holding, simple compound and epicyclic gear train. Torque on sun and planetary gear train, compound epicyclic gear train, bevel epicyclic gear train. These are the some gear trains. The best example of the gear train is our gearbox of the vehicle. We will discuss these one by one. The fourth unit of the syllabus is cam and follower. As you are learning Tom 1 also, what is cam and follower. In this unit, we will discuss types of the cam and follower, analysis of the standard motions of the follower, determination of the cam profile for a different follower motions, methods of the control, pressure angle, radius of curvature and undercutting, jump phenomenon and eccentric cam. Introduction of the advanced cam curve. The fifth unit is synthesis of the mechanism. The steps in synthesis process. These are the content of the fifth unit. The sixth unit is stepless regulation and gyroscope. In this unit, we will discuss the continuous variable transmission, geometry, velocity, and torque analysis of faceplate, variators, conical variators, spheroidal and cone variators, variators with axially displaceable cone, PIV drive, gyroscope. What is the gyroscope? Concept of gyroscopic force and couple, gyroscopic stabilization for ship and aeroplanes. This gyroscope is used in ship and aeroplane. Stability of the four-wheel vehicle moving on the curve path. This is a syllabus of overall syllabus of the Tom 2. As we see, the first unit is the spur gear. As we now we will start with the first unit, that is spur gear. As we all know that what is a gear? What is gear? Gear is a positive drive and it is provided with a distance between driver and the cam follower. Gear is defined as tooth wheel. Means gear is a tooth wheel. It is a one type of wheel which consists of the tooth on its periphery and it is used to transmit power and motion. Both power and motion is transferred from one shaft to the another shaft. For this purpose, gear are used. If we see the example of bicycle, we apply the force at the pedal and this force is transmitted to the back wheel of the bicycle with the help of chain and sprocket drive. But similarly, gear is also one type of the device which consists of a teeth on its outer periphery and which is used to transmit the power from one shaft to the another shaft. If we see in bicycle example, if we need to apply the gear, then large type of gear are required. That's why gear are used to transmit the power between a two shafts which is near to each other. Means distance between these two shafts is less, then we can use the gear as power transmitting device. While transmitting the power, both gear, means if we consider the two gear, one size is more and if means diameter of the gear, one gear is more and diameter of the other gear is less, then higher diameter gear is called as the gear and less diameter gear is called as the pinion. And while transmitting the power and the motion, both the gear need to engage with each other. And while transmitting the power, both gear are rotate in opposite direction. If we rotate one input shaft in clockwise, then output shaft will rotate in anti-clockwise direction. This is the gear. Now we will see the gears, functions of the gear, reduce the speed. If we see that in two-wheeler, the engine of the two-wheeler or bike is rotate very fast, but as compared to the back rear wheel of the bike will rotate with a less speed. Means gear is used to reduce the speed. In some application it is used to increase the speed, but generally gear are used to reduce the speed. This is the main function of the gear. While reducing the gear, it increases the torque. Means if we reduce the speed of the gear by using a gear, it will increase the torque. Another function of the gear is move power from one point to the another point. As we see in the definition, gear are used to move power from one shaft to the another shaft, or it is used to transmit the motion from one shaft to the another shaft. This is the another function of the gear. Change the direction of the power. Means if gear is rotated in a clockwise direction, then next gear is rotated in anti-clockwise direction. In this way, we can change the direction of the power. Next function of the gear is split the power. Means if we give 100-watt power, then it will be split in a different direction as per the requirement. These are the some functions of the gear. If we consider the advantages of the gear, gear is a positive drive. What is mean by positive drive? Positive drive means there is no slippery action will take place. As we see the example of the floor mill, in which belt drive is used to transmit the power. At the one end of mill, motor is present, and the other end wheel is rotated. The power from the shaft of the motor is transmitted to the wheel of the mill, and while transmitting this power, belt drive is used, but there is a slippery action takes place in belt drive. If we compare this with the gear drive, there is no slippery action will take place in gear. That's why it is called as the positive drive. And while there is no slippery action means there is no any power losses. Another advantages of the gear drive as compared to the other power transmitting device like chain drive or a belt drive, it transmits the large power with the high or low velocity. Means if we require high velocity or require a low velocity, we can use gear drive, and there is no slippery action. That's why power will not while transmitting. That's why it consists of, it can be used for large power transmission. The next advantages of the gear is it has a high efficiency. High efficiency means no power losses, means it can transmit the up to 98 to 99% of the power from input shaft to the output shaft. Compact in size. The size of the gear is less. That's why size of the gear drive is less. That's why it is compact in size. And another advantage is it is more reliable than the other drives. Means power losses is not there, therefore it is reliable. These are the some advantages of the gear. Now we will discuss the disadvantages of the gear. As we see the shape of the gear, it is difficult to cut such types of the gear by using a tool or using a various types of machines. This is the first advantage, that is it is very difficult to manufacture the gear. If we manufacture the gear, its cost is also high. That is another disadvantage of the gear. That is cost of the gear manufacturing is high, difficult in manufacture. Another disadvantage of the gear is we required alignment of the shaft is very precise. Means if the shaft is not aligned as per requirement, then it is not able to transmit the power from one gear to the another gear properly or efficiently. This is the another disadvantage of the gear. And last disadvantage of the gear, while transmitting the power, it requires lubrication. If we not provide the lubrication, the friction between the teeth of the gear will take place, and it will affect on the life of the gear. These are the some disadvantages of the gear. As the question will be asked in exam, what is a gear? Write down its function, advantages and disadvantages. Then we can write these functions, advantages and disadvantages of the gear drive. Now we will discuss the types of the gear or classification of the gear. The first type is the parallel axis gear. Means if we require to transmit the power from one shaft to the another shaft, the shaft of input and output should be parallel to each other. On this basis, the gear are classified. That is, first one is the spur gear, another one is helical gear, third one is the rack and pinion, and another one is the internal gear. Then another types of the gear is intersecting gear, means the shaft of input shaft and output shaft should intersect with each other at any point. Then we can classify this gear as first one is a bevel gear, second one is a spiral bevel gear, and third one is a meter gear. The another type of the classification of the gear is non-parallel, non-intersecting gear. Means the shaft of input and output shaft are not parallel and not intersecting to each other. Then we can use worm and worm wheel and screw gear. As we see the classification of the gear, spur gear, this is the image of the spur gear. The below part, this large size is called as the gear and small size gear is called as the pinion. If we see this image, in this image, the axis of the input and the output shaft are parallel to each other. And if we see this teeth, if we see the teeth on this gear, the surface of this teeth and axis of these teeth are parallel to each other. That's why it is called as the spiral gear. Next one is the helical gear. In this image, this is vertical axis. This is called as the axis of the shaft. And if we see the orientation of this teeth, this orientation is not parallel to the axis of the shaft. This is the difference between helical and spiral gear. This is the helical gear. Then another is the rack and pinion. Here, one gear is in a platform or is in a rule form. It is flat, and another gear is moved on this rule. This is a rack and pinion. As we see, the length of this gear is large. That's why it's called as the rack, and the above wheel is called as the pinion. This is a rack and pinion. Then another type of gear is internal gear. As we see the spur gear, it is a type of spur gear in which one gear, if we see this image, the one gear is rotated, but it will be rotated inside this ring. That's why it is called as the internal gear. This ring is called as the gear, and this internal part is called as the pinion.
Sir? Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, PPT दिसत नाहीये images. शेअर करा ना दिसत.
इमेज दिसत नाहीये का?
हो.
तर दिसत नाही.
काय होतंय नक्की, म्हणजे क्लिअर दिसत नाहीये का?
तर तुमचा फेस
शेअर नाही केलं सर, स्क्रीन शेअर
नाही केलंय.
शेअर दिसत नाहीये का? वेट
हो
स्क्रीन शेअर केलंच नाही तुम्ही सर.
वेट वेट दिसतंय आता?
हो
सर हा
हो
दिसतो.
हो
स्क्रीन दिसतीये?
हो दिसते.
आता
आता
दिसतंय सर.
दिसते सर.
ओके ठीक आहे, मी परत एकदा सांगतो. स्पर गिअर,
हो सांग.
स्पर गिअर मध्ये जर आपण बघितलं तर जे काही टीथ दिसत आहेत, जे काही टीथ आहेत ते ऍक्सिसला पॅरल असतात स्पर गिअर मध्ये. आवाज येतोय सगळ्यांना?
हो येतोय सर.
ओके.
सर येते येते.
स्पर गिअर मध्ये काय आहे, जे ओके, आता जर काही तुमच्या क्वेरी असतील तर विचारू शकता. आधी मी क्लिअर करतो वन बाय वन, आणि ज्यावेळेस मी विचारेल की काही क्वेरी असेल त्यावेळेस मला इन्फॉर्म करा. ओके ठीक आहे. स्पर गिअर मध्ये जो काही ऍक्सिस आहे, हा जो काही सर्कल दिसतोय राऊंड वाला, इथे ऍक्सिस हा आहे ऍक्सिस ऑफ द शाफ्ट, म्हणजे गिअरचा ऍक्सिस आहे, आणि हे जे काही टीथ आहेत हे पॅरलल टू द ऍक्सिस. दिस इज कॉल्ड एज अ स्पर गिअर. देन पण इज अ हेलिकल गिअर. जर आपण हा हेलिकल गिअर जर बघितला तर याच्यामध्ये जर बघितलं तर हा ऍक्सिस आहे. हॅलो, तुम्ही जर तुमचं व्हिडिओ जर ऑडिओ म्यूट केला तर बरं होईल. ओके. जो in helical gear, the axis of the gear is vertical, and if we consider the orientation of this teeth, this orientation of the teeth is not parallel to the axis. means हा जे काही टीथचं ओरिएंटेशन आहे ते पॅरलल नाही ऍक्सिसला. म्हणजे हा एक टाईपचा another type of the gear is called as a helical gear. Next one is the rack and pinion. रॅक अँड पिनियन मध्ये काय असतं, एक व्हील असतो ज्याला पिनियन असं म्हणतात, आणि दिस इज अ रॅक. इन दिस रॅक द पिनियन विल बी अ मूव. दिस इज अनदर टाइप ऑफ द गियर. इफ वी कन्सिडर द थर्ड वन गियर इज द इंटरनल गियर. If we see this image, in this image the outer part is called as the gear and inner part is called as the pinion, and this ring is gear, and this pinion will move inside this ring. This is the internal gear. Okay, next one is the bevel gear. If we see in this image, the short one is the pinion and the big one is the gear, and the axis of these both the shaft is intersect at any point, means it is a class, one type of the intersecting gear. This is another one is a spiral gear. It is similar to that of the bevel gear, but difference is only that the orientation of the teeth is in not parallel to the axis, it is in spiral form. The another one is the worm gear, and third one is the screw gear. We will discuss these various types of the gear in one by one in next unit. First of all, this is the classification or types of the gear. If you have any queries, you can ask regarding any point up till now. हॅलो, हा तुमचे काही डाऊट्स असतील वगैरे काही रिलेटेड असतील तर ते विचारा. तुम्ही ऑडिओ अनम्यूट करू शकता. काही डाऊट्स आहेत?
तर कोणीतरी विचारते स्क्रू गेअर डिस्क्राईब करायला.
हा हॅलो, हा काही डाऊट्स आहेत तुमचे?
चॅट सेक्शन मध्ये विचारले कोणीतरी.
ओके, चॅट सेक्शन मी ओपन करतो. ओके ठीक आहे. दोन मिनिट फक्त मी कंट्रोल बघतो याचे आणि हे करतो तुमचं. back to video. चॅट सेक्शन 2 मिनिट मी फक्त चॅट सेक्शन ओपन करतोय.
तर क्वेश्चन सांगतो मी तुम्हाला 1 मिनिट.
हा डाऊट्स असेल 1 मिनिट. आता मला चॅट सेक्शनचा कंट्रोल कळत नाहीये, तर तुम्ही हे विचारू शकता. मी 2 मिनिटात तुम्हाला आन्सर करतो चॅट सेक्शनचे. तर
Sir,
इथे
could you
डायरेक्ट विचारलं
explain?
तरी चालेल 1 बाय 1.
स्क्रू गिअर अगेन
हा
असा क्वेश्चन.
हा तर स्क्रू गिअर जे आहेत जनरली त्याचा यूज जे काय जर आपण त्याच्यामध्ये बघितलं तर ऍक्सिस जे आहेत त्याचे ते एकमेकांना पॅरलल पण नाही आहेत आणि इंटरसेक्टिंग पण नाही आहेत. म्हणजे हा जो काही आपण क्लासिफिकेशन इथं बघितलं होतं लास्ट स्लाइड मध्ये, नॉन पॅरलल नॉन इंटरसेक्टिंग गिअर हा त्याचा एक टाईप आहे स्क्रू गिअर. त्याचे ऍप्लिकेशन्स किंवा जे काही आहेत ते आपण 1 बाय 1 नेक्स्ट युनिट आहेत आपले त्याच्यामध्ये बघूया. तर हा जो आहे त्याच्यामध्ये फक्त एकच लक्षात ठेवा की याच्यामध्ये जे काही ऍक्सिस आहेत गिअरचे ते एकमेकांना इंटरसेक्ट पण होत नाही आणि पॅरलल पण नाही आहेत.
ओके.
एक मिनिट, मला फक्त इथून बॅक टू झूम मीटिंगला हे होत नाहीये, तर मी इथे अजून काही डाऊट्स आहेत कुणाचे काही असतील तर विचारा मला. चॅट सेक्शनचे आन्सर मी तुम्हाला करतो याच्यामध्ये, चॅटमध्येच त्याचा रिप्लाय करेल. चॅट सेक्शन मध्ये ओके काही डाऊट्स असतील ते सांगतो. इमेज ओके पीपीटी. हा सिलेबसची जी काही पीडीएफ असेल ती पाठवतो मी ग्रुपवर. त्याचं जे काही आहे एक्झामचं फक्त एकदा सांगतो. 100 मार्क्सची जी काही एक्झाम आहे त्यामध्ये तुम्हाला 30 मार्क्सची इनसेम एक्झाम आहे. इनसेम एक्झामचं पासिंग असं काही नाहीये की किती आहे वगैरे, पण जी काही एंड सेम एक्झाम आहे 30 मार्क्सची मिनिमम 28 मार्क्स तिथे हवेत आणि टोटल 40 हवेत. म्हणजे जर सपोज तुम्हाला इनसेमला 10च पडले तर तुम्हाला एंड सेमला 30 लागणारच आहे. हा तुमचे काही डाऊट्स असतील एक तर तुम्ही डायरेक्ट ऑडिओ थ्रू विचारू शकता किंवा मग टाईप करू शकता, मी आन्सर करतोय.
हॅलो.
हा बोला.
सर पंकज बोलतो. सर ते जे पीपीटी आहे तर त्याच्यानंतर तुम्ही अपलोड करताल सर गुगल क्लासरूमवर?
हो
आत्ता
पीपीटी शेअर करतो तुम्हाला. पीपीटी पास नोट्स पण शेअर केल्या जातील, काही इश्यू नाही.
ओके थँक्यू सर. ओके
ओके.
तेवढंच विचार.
पासिंग स्कीम कळली सगळ्यांना? काही डाऊट्स आहेत पासिंगचे?
नाही.
तर सुदर्शन बोलतो.
हा बोल.
तुम्ही जसं म्हटलं
हॅलो. हा
तर फायनल एक्झामला 30 पडावे लागतील.
हा नाही
हा
एंड सेम एक्झाम आहे त्याला मिनिमम 28 मार्क्स लागतात.
त्याला मिनिमम 28 पाहिजेतच
हो.
असं आहे. म्हणजे तुम्हाला इन्सिमला किती पडू देत पण
मिनिमम 28 आणि टोटल 40. तुम्ही याच्यामध्ये जर टाकलं चार्ट सेक्शन मध्ये तर मी सांगू शकतो, म्हणजे आवाज जर ब्रेक होत असेल. असेल चार्ट मध्ये टाका, मी आन्सर करतो त्याला. नाही कोणाचे काही डाऊट्स?
नो.
ओके ठीक आहे चालेल. आपण नेक्स्ट जो काही पार्ट आहे तो नेक्स्ट युनिट मध्ये डिस्कस करूया. याचे पीपीटी आणि नोट्स तुम्हाला एकतर गुगल क्लासरूमचं इन्व्हिटेशन पाठवेल किंवा आपल्या ग्रुपवर शेअर.
हो सर, गुगल क्लासरूमचा
हॅलो.
पासवर्ड शेअर करा सर,
हो
सिक्युरिटी.
चालेल चालेल.
हॅलो.
दोन्हीकडे शेअर केलं जातील, काही इश्यू नाही. क्लास फॉर्म करून त्याच्यावर शेअर करतो, नाही तर मग गुगल क्लासरूम.
सर या
Okay, sir,
सब्जेक्टला
ठीक आहे.
ओरल आहे का?
हा
सर या सब्जेक्टला ओरल आहे?
येस येस.
हा ओरल आहे ना. 25 मार्क्सची ह्या सब्जेक्टसाठी 25 मार्क्सची एक्सटर्नल ओरल आहे, 25 मार्क्सचा टर्म वर्क आहे.
ओके.
आता ह्या कोरोनामुळे काही जर चेंज झाले त्याच्यामध्ये, की सपोज सिलेबस कमी केला जाईल किंवा ओरलचं काही, तर ते नंतर इन्फॉर्म केलं जाईल. पण आता सध्या जो काही सिलेबस आहे जुना, त्याच्यानुसार तर 25 मार्क्सची एक्सटर्नल ओरल आणि 25 मार्क्सचं टर्म वर्क आहे.
ओके
ओके
ओके.
ठीक आहे चालेल. करायचं
Thank you, sir.
सेक्शन. ओके ओके बरोबर.